I am Darryl Shiroma.
And I'm Shelley Johnson. So we've been married now since about 12 years, and we've been coming to C4 since early 2011. We went to Israel with Pastor Wayne in 2010, and we got to know Pastor Fernando and Karen at that time, and I wanted to come to a smaller church, and so we started at C4 then. And then after a while, we thought, well, we really want to get a little bit more involved. We want to start serving. And so we started kind of the easiest thing that we could think of, which was the host team, giving out bulletins, name tags. And so we started off on Saturday nights. That was our time to serve. And we've been doing that for I don't know how many years now. And it's a ministry that it was just a huge blessing, and it's grown and grown. We've built a great team.
When we first started serving, I honestly have to say it was a task. And some of it, what it reminded me of is when we first started serving at C4, it was kind of funny because all of a sudden the people who we were serving with, they kind of disappeared. And then it was Shelley and I and the campus pastor at that time. And we could never, it just like seemed we could never build a following, a group. And then God blessed us with David, and God blessed us with Sterling and Michelle, and it started to grow from there. And, we, with 20 some odd people who would serve with us, when COVID hit, it was just that natural, how do we keep people together, with this blessing that we were given? And first and foremost was, let's reach out to see how everyone's doing, and to keep them together.
I'm Sterling.
And I'm Michelle Saino.
And we are actually host servants on Saturday services here at C4. We have 2 young children. We have a boy, Stevie, who's actually going to turn 4 on October 3rd. And we have a daughter, Emmy, who is 1 year old. So our experience in the circle was very, it took a little while to get accustomed to being virtual, right? But the interactions that occurred just took us back, to how things were back on Saturdays in person. Everybody joked around, everybody was having fun, we were connecting with each other again. So I found it very, very heartwarming to be part of that.
Yes, my name is David Hoover, and believe it or not, I've been going to this church 10 years. It's been 10 years, I can't believe it. And I serve on the Saturday host team. Yeah, so when I was asked to join the circle, the Zoom meetings, my initial response was, no way. I hate it because, I'm kind of a private person. I don't like video. I don't like social media. I hate social media. So, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I got the conviction of the Holy Spirit. He was like, you really need to get into that Zoom meeting. Get into that Zoom meeting because you're going to like it. So, I said yes, reluctantly, but I did it, and I liked it, actually.
Ever since COVID, the pandemic started, we missed our team, our Saturday night team. So when we first started the Zoom, we actually had questions, thrown out to kind of break the ice. So a lot to do, I guess, not church related, but just to bring everybody together.
The experience of being a part of the circle and watching it grow, I think for me, one of the most fulfilling things was not having it be about me or Shelley. It's about the group, and it's about God's work. And to see what God had given us to get started, but then to see how it's grown and how each person is going up, as Pastor Creighton encouraged us, but also out. And just seeing that happen and realizing that although we served with these people for many years, we really didn't know them. And they're sharing more, we're sharing more, and it's just on a whole different level, and you miss them even more.
People are growing in transparency, first of all, being more vulnerable with the group, being more trusting, sharing. The growth that we saw in people during that time was really, really phenomenal. But then when we started to see the cross sections across the group, somebody would say something, and you know how when you're talking together in person, there's much more cross talk, right? But that's not so easy on a Zoom platform. But then we started to see that. We started to see members calling other people on stuff and making them accountable and making the rest of the group accountable for their growth too. How can we help you? Tell us when this happens. What can we do?
One of or two of the valleys that I have been through, and I think a lot of women can also relate to, is after Stevie and Emmy were born, I had a very deep emotional low during those times. And with the lack of sleep, it just doesn't help, embracing that the family is growing. It was very trying. And it's not something that I like to talk about much, but during these Zoom sessions, I was able to open up about that and just being reminded that God is with us, God is there, and just being able to show and share with other families and women that it's going to be okay. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and both times it came out of there victoriously.
The way that I've seen others grow, there's one person in particular, and that's got to be David. I mean, seeing him, for those of us that know David, we know that everything is short and sweet, and that he doesn't really care for Zoom or any of the technology. But I remember the first time we saw David coming online, we were like,
Hey, it's
"Hey,
David.
it's David." And we were just blown away. It brought joy to my heart. It brought warmth to my heart to see him because he is a part of our family.
Yeah, so the experience was once I gave into it, it was complete joy. It was a blessing to get in there and just give, not only give, but receive. So I enjoyed it. And to this day, I enjoy it. I look forward to it every Saturday. What the Lord has put in me, the blessings that he has placed in me, he wants me to share those blessings. He wants me to shine my light and share those blessings to others. And ultimately, all that is to bring glory to the Lord.
I think one of the things that I miss is not seeing people in person. So I would love to get back together if church continued to do it the way it used to do. I certainly would answer the call and come back and serve in that capacity. I just take what God has given us, including what COVID has brought, and we'll make the best of it in that case. So if what we're given when we return to normal is online and virtual, we'll take that and we'll do God's work through that.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. If things got back to how they were before, I would miss the depth that's developed, the relationships that have developed, because I would fear that we would get back to that task-focused mentality again, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm grateful, and as Darryl says, we're just blessed beyond measure to have had the gift of being involved in this. Yeah, I wouldn't change it.